As investigations on former French President Nicolas Sarkozy continue, Prime Minister Edouard Philippe has refused to comment on the matter. Before joining President Emmanuel Macron's government, Philippe was a member of Sarkozy's Republicaines party. The former head of state is being held in custody in the western Paris suburb of Nanterre as a probe into alleged illicit campaign funding continue. French judicial officials are investigating whether Sarkozy received money from the late Muammar Gadaffi to fund his 2007 election.
Everyone knows that I belong to the same political family as Nicolas Sarkozy, and those who follow politics know that at times I had difficult relations with him, but they have always been respectful, and each time I've spoken to him since becoming Prime Minister, it has been with a seal of mutual respect.
Interesting developments from France. Now let's get deeper into this, and I'm joined live from Paris by CGTN's Elena Casas. While from Cairo, Dr. Ziad Akel is on standby with more for us. Dr. Ziad is a political analyst and researcher at Al Ahram Center for Strategic Studies with a special understanding of Libyan affairs. Elena, let's begin with you. What are the police saying in relation to the investigations?
So we haven't heard anything new from the police today. These allegations, of course, date back to 2012 when a Lebanese businessman called Ziad Taqaddeen alleged in the French press that in late 2006 and early 2007 he'd personally conveyed suitcases of cash totalling €5 million from the then Libyan government to the Sarkozy campaign. Now, Sarkozy has always strenuously denied this, but Taqaddeen's account has been corroborated on the record by several people who were close to the Libyan government at the time, including the dictator's former spy chief and one of his money men. And the French police have been digging into this since 2013. What we don't know is exactly what new evidence they have which led them to call him in for questioning this morning. It's being speculated that somebody from Libya, somebody close to the Gaddafi regime, has come forward and provided French prosecutors with new evidence, and there's also speculation that it's come from the recent search of a house of an intermediary in Switzerland.
Dr. Ziad, Muammar Gaddafi is no more. What effect will the investigations have on Libya and the entire Arab world?
Well, the investigation actually will have various implications. Let's first of all consider the implications that it will have on Libya. Of course, it will increase the already present state of political division at the moment because it somehow takes away credit from the revolution, it takes away credit from the Gaddafi regime, and it is going to be used as one of the cards for the coming political settlement phase inside of Libya. At the same time, it raises a lot of questions when it has to do with the pattern of relations that the Arab countries that witnessed revolutions in 2011, the kind of relations that it had with the West in general in the few years before those revolutions. And also, it has a lot to do with the pattern of cooperation that the Arab world has with the Western world and with Europe in specific. And at the same time, we go back to re-envisioning the motives of European intervention inside of Libya and all the pressure that was coming from France at this specific moment. So it is something that will stir up a lot of division and discussion inside Libyan political society.
Elena, we understand that there are other players who are at large, including Nicolas Sarkozy's former aide, who is fighting extradition in London. Who are the other suspects?
Well, the French police have questioned a number of people about this. Earlier today, they questioned the former minister Brice Hortefeux, and they've also charged Sarkozy's former Interior Minister Claude Guéant with buying a house using potentially laundered money that could have come from Libya. The suspect you were talking about there, who was arrested in London and France is still awaiting the outcome of its extradition request, is an alleged intermediary called Alexander Jury, who actually had a heart attack in custody last week. So the chances of his being extradited here to France to face prosecutors' questioning are perhaps shrinking. A number of the key witnesses in this this case seem to have had unfortunate accidents in recent years. One of Gaddafi's money men was shot in South Africa recently. He was expected to testify in this case, but he's now having medical care in the United Arab Emirates. And another former Gaddafi official who had gone on the record about this drowned mysteriously in Vienna in 2012. So people close to the Gaddafi regime who might have evidence about this do seem to keep meeting unfortunate accidents. But in order to call Sarkozy in for questioning today, the prosecutors must have new evidence coming from somebody close to the Gaddafi regime, which we expect will give them the sufficient proof that they need to charge him. They've got 48 hours to do that before he has to be released from custody.
And Dr. Ziad, are there other Libyans who were involved and may be called to shed more light on the investigation?
Well, there are, of course, some key figures of the Gaddafi regime that are still present, either inside of Libya or outside of it, either in hiding or not. I would assume that there will be more names revealed in the coming period of people who are implicated in this, but at the same time, we have to question to what extent will different governments in Libya be able to help, be willing to help, and to what extent will the information or the accusations be objective and not politicized, because it is very easy, specifically that right now, for example, Saif al-Islam al-Gaddafi wants to nominate himself as a president, and there will be a lot of politicking behind the scene when it comes to different accusations in this Nicolas Sarkozy investigation.
All right, Dr. Ziad Akel in Cairo and Elena Castas in Paris, thank you for joining us.